morning again, everyone. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing super. In today's video, in today's live stream, we'll be looking at trade setups as usual, but we will also be talking about how Chair Powell, not Colin Powell, how Chair Powell has has brought down the rush to cut rates further. We'll also talk about the Euro CPI to be released and the USJPY jobs openings data to be released later tonight. All right, so a couple of things to get through, but first, all right, I'm back. I was all over the place with that introduction to Zen. Okay. Hope you're doing good. I don't think I'm sniffing as much today, so should be a good session. And now, if you're on the session, do remember to drop a message. Say hi, let me know where you're joining us from. Love to find out. If you have any questions at any point in time, please feel free to put it into the chat and let me know. And you can help me out massively by remembering to click on that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. And if you want to be an elite navigator of the market, do remember to join the membership as well. Oh man, not sniffing, but my voice is going. Hang on a second. All right. Now, good morning, Stefan. How are you doing? Hey, Diana. Good to see you. What was I going to say? Yes, it's 12 more days. 12 more days to my event in Dubai. So if you are from Dubai, if you're in the area and you'd like to catch up, I'll share that link up shortly. Next week, just a quick reminder again, next week I will be in the UAE, so no live streams. We'll see, try and do streams, but we'll see how it goes with that, okay? Looking forward to catching up as well, Diana, finally. And if you have if you have anything that you want me to bring in from Singapore, let me know. Telestat Media, there's another YouTube live for membership only. Is this here? I don't know which one you're talking about. Telestat Media. Another YouTube account live for membership only. Is that you? No, sorry, I'm just gonna do this. So you should be you should see me there. And well, if you're watching that, there's a bit of an inception thing going on here. You should just join, click on that to join, and then that would pop up. It's $15 Singapore dollars to be an elite navigator. Not sure if that's what you're referring to, Telesat Media. Right? No other channels. Do not join any other channels. I don't know about any other channels. If you're talking about that live stream on the 4th of October, yes, that is only going to be for members only. So you just have to make sure that you join as a member, as an Elite Navigator member, and then you get to join the live streams. You get other videos as well. Okay. Hey, Jamilu, how are you doing? Good morning. Hope you're doing super. All right. So, yeah, I hope you got that part there, Telestat Media. All right. So now with all that, let's put all that aside. If you're in Dubai, let me know. We'll catch up. I'll be there 6th to the 15th, event on the 13th. So we'll do that. First off, we'll talk about the Fed Chair Powell speaking, right? Fed Chair Powell speaking yesterday or early this morning for me, 1:55 a.m. I did not stay up for this, but what he did say was that while more interest rates are ahead, the Fed is not in a hurry to cut. He pours cold water on a rate cut euphoria, and that the Fed will absolutely take into account important data that arrives during the blackout period. What was the one more thing? Take into account the policy lags in rate decisions as well, right? So after what he said, because of what he said, and after what he said, the CME Fed Watch 2 now has brought, oh man, what did I do? Wait, did I kill it? Oh no, okay. Has brought it down. Has brought it down from a 50% chance of a 50 basis point rate cut. It's now down to a 33.2% chance for a 50 basis point rate cut, while a 25 basis point rate cut has gone up to 66.8%. Previously, it was at a 46.7%. So higher odds now for a 25 basis point rate cut on the 7th of November, just because of what Chair Powell said, that while they are looking to cut rates further, they're not going to rush into it. There's no rush. They're pretty much going to take their time with it. Okay, that's what he says. Remember, that's what he said. It's not necessarily what he will do. He might and could surprise. So that's something to watch out for. I'm just noticing that markets are starting to move quite a bit, with no major news as well. Interesting. Okay, so that was Chair Powell last night this morning with his talk at the National Association for Business Economics annual meeting in Nashville, right? Slowing down interest rate cuts, increasing rate cut of a 25 percentages of a rate cut of 25 basis points, more than 50 basis points now. With all that said, since I've been looking at it, we haven't seen too much movements. Chinese on a bank holiday because it is National Day in China. Happy National Day to anyone in China watching. I doubt so because we're on YouTube. We had Aussie retail sales number. It was a 0. It got revised up to a 0.1. Expected a 0.4. Got released at a 0.7. Didn't have that much an impact on the Aussie. You can see this happened at 9:30 a.m. We did see a small blip from 6912 up to 6933 to the upside. Right, so a push up, small one, because of the retail sales number. Now we have a whole bunch of PMI numbers to be released for the Eurozone, for the Swiss, Italian, French, German manufacturing PMIs to be released, Eurozone to be released at 4 o'clock, the UK manufacturing PMI to be released at 4:30. Not expecting the big changes here. At 5 p.m. GMT plus 8, we do have the CPI for the Eurozone, the flash estimate CPI for the Eurozone to be released. CPI flash estimate year on year 2.2 to 1.8%, while core CPI from a 2.8 to a 2.7, looking like a slowdown in inflation growth likely for the Eurozone. The ECB has been quite had been quite proactive about cutting rates, but I feel like they might take a little bit of a breather now, especially with inflation growth coming down. We are seeing right now a little bit of a drop, well, a little bit of a drop on the euro dollar from 1.1134 within the last 11 minutes, from 1.1134 down to 1.1112 to the downside, testing a level again, right? So that's quite interesting. I'm still trying to figure out what was the big news, but it's likely because of what he said here to deliver opening remarks at the Bundesbank Autumn Conference, but nothing came up so far. That's the only news that happened at 3 o'clock that has seen it drop, right? But I think we'll look at the data that's going to be released. And then later tonight, we have manufacturing PMI for the US and JOLTS jobs openings for the US as well to be released, right? So not expecting a big change here in terms of those numbers either. I feel like the market is going to, yesterday has retraced a little bit. Today it looked like it might continue with its trend on the short term. Okay, remembering again that tomorrow we do have the ADP non-farm to be released, and then all the way through to Friday we have the non-farm payrolls to be released as well. Now, with all that said, we'll look at the dollar index. All right, so dollar, we were expecting for it to push up, test that level, test the trend line before pushing down. It did not happen. It did retrace right up to that trend line and break right through. So this was what I was watching yesterday, as you know, after our session here, right? After our session, it came down and I thought, oh, it's happened a bit earlier than I expected. I wanted to go up before coming back down. So it happened a little bit earlier than we expected, but it did not break that low. It did not break that 100.20 low of that support. And because it failed to break, we saw it bounce back up to that trend line, right? So as you probably could have told from yesterday's session, I was a little bit off the top of my head. I was sniffing and sneezing like mad. So I didn't look at the markets. And you shouldn't look at the markets when you're not feeling good, because look what happened, right? We saw it come down to test the support before it pushed right back up at 2 a.m., hit that trend line. Same thing because of what Chair Powell said, right? That they're not going to cut rates they're not likely to have cut rates as quickly as everyone expects. We saw it push up from 100.56 within the hour up to 100.91, 92, retrace back down, and now looking like it's going to continue in that short-term move to the upside. Okay. So now, if you look at this, take that one away. I'll put that here. Okay, let me just check something. We look at that all the way down to here. That 61.8 is still there. Okay, this trend line is done. It's broken. We'll take that away. So now on to the dollar. The main feature to look out for is, look at it. It is the 1st of October. A pinch and a punch for the first day of the month. Okay. A dollar been pushing back up. Don't need that. Now, if it can break above 101, we're likely to see it come back up to test 101.40 in that range there. All right, so I'm looking at it to push up towards 101.40. I see that. Hey, Jimmy, how are you doing? We don't need a lot of that. Soon we can take those away. I mean, that one will be there. Okay, so I've got that level there. I'm happy. This one's, I'm good. Okay, so I would say that that's reasonable to expect, to look for it. If price can break 101, could trade up to 101.40, which is also that 61.8 area. Right, so we're looking for it to break up above 101, which is right on this dotted line there. Could trade up to 101.40. If it fails to break above that point, then we'll see it retrace back down. But I think it's a little bit unlikely. It looked like we're due for a bit of a retrace to push it up. So you want to see what happens at 101, break up to 101.40. And with a lack of any other major news, right? We have ADP, yes. We have jobs openings, job openings, and manufacturing PMI. Not expecting a big change in numbers here. So I'm thinking that we could see this push up, but I don't think we'll see it push up by a lot. So that's going to be reasonable. I'm just thinking whether it can go up further right now. That's what I'm considering. No, I think I'm quite happy with that. Now, with that said, anticipating dollar strength to push up, we'll look at the Kiwi and the Aussie. Right, so Kiwi doing perfectly as we had as we looked at yesterday. So I thought it's going to push up, down, and then zigzag around. It did that first. It pushed down and then up and then broke down. Right, rejected that resistance area to push down, breaking below 23.6. Which is at 6345 down, and it's been trading down. Likely now, with the anticipation that we're going to see more dollar strength, don't get in now because it'll be too late. But if you're already in a trade, you're a good almost 30 pips in, you would be looking for it to come down to test this trend line and that 61.8 level right here. Okay. So you're looking for it to come down to test the 61.8. If we're going to see that dollar strength continue and it breaks this level at 0.63, then we could see further downside again. 6290 stop loss, tight at 20 pips. Take profit, you've got 40 to the downside again. Right, so if you're already in that trade, look for it to come down. You could run it lower. If you're not in the trade already, you could even be doing 6295. No, that's too near. 6290, 40 to 20 to the downside. Okay, take that one away. Okay, that's why. Now it looks better. 0.6290, stop loss 20, take profit 40 to the downside. Break up the, yep, Bollinger, that's good, that's reasonable. Yeah, so see Bollinger right at that level as well. So it just needs to break that point to hit higher. Then onto the Aussie dollar. Was looking for it to trade a little bit higher before rejecting back down. It didn't, right? It stayed right across. Well, it pushed down a little bit first and then still tested that previous high before pushing back down. Now, I like this a little bit more given that we're expecting that dollar strength, given that we're expecting the Kiwi to push down. If the Aussie does break below this support level at 6.9, then we're looking for it to break down 6.890. Stop loss, you're looking at about 20 pips. Take profit, you might even go down to 65. Right? If I extend that right up, you'll see that it could come down here, test and break to that kind of level. Right? Or you're looking for that to happen. So 6.890, you might, if you want to go a little bit safer, you might do 6.885, 20 to 60 to the downside. Let's do that one instead. 0.6885, 6885, yes. 20 to 60 to the downside. 60 to the downside. All right. Look at the dollar. Look at the dollar now, just retracing. It came right up to that point, retracing back down, which is a relatively good move. I like that it's retracing, thinking that it still can hit higher, but I don't want to spike up too quickly and then come, out of the Bollinger Band and come right back down. So looking for it to retrace, slowly, gradually climb up towards that top there. So I'll look for that, sit there and gradually push down. Then now looking at the pound dollar, that took a while. It pushed down, it pushed right back up, not as high as expected, and then slowly pushing back down, right? It is now at the point where we are just looking for this. And, I get this question from time to time where anyone who might be new to the session asks, like, how do we get into the trades? Wait for the candle to close, right? You have to wait for the candle to close, and that's why I don't put in an order, because what could happen here is it shoots right down. This is 2 a.m. We know what happened there. It would have triggered your trade, and the next moment it comes right back up to hit your stop loss. What I like to do is look for it to come down, look for that candle to close, which is where we are right now. If it closes, then I'll go for that move to the downside, right? Because that shows that price has broken that area, which was also formed by that 61.8 level. Okay, so very important to wait for price to close, in my opinion. Now, we'll take those away. Keep that one there for now. I would say that in this hour closes, you're looking at 1.3350. Right, you can be looking at a 20 pip stop because of that 61.8 level. And then you're looking at a 45 pip take profit towards the support level to the downside. Let me think. Bollinger, yeah, so I like that, considering that it spiked out of the Bollinger Band. It looks like it's coming back in slightly. So it might be just nice to get to 1.3350, 20 to 45 to the downside. Okay, so 1.3350, 20 to 45 to the downside. And like that, then the euro dollar pushing down. So this was just like 10 minutes ago when we looked at this. It was right down there along 1.11. Now it's retraced back up again. Diana saying MACD indicates downtrend as well. I think you meant the pound. Yes, it's a crossover. Although not crossing over above that zero line, it is also crossing back down. So yeah, looking for it to push lower. I look at this last, the TSR MACD, I look at it last. I kind of like it more as it breaks below that area, right? It's held. Now it's trying to break. I think that what it could do is, in fact, it might sit there, it might retrace, and then after that it might break, and then hopefully come back down again that way. Euro dollar, that I think I posted that on Discord yesterday as it happened. Right, this was our session as it finished. The next moment we saw the euro dollar spike within the hour, 1.1173 right up to 1.12. Got to that round number level, got right outside the Bollinger Band and came right back in again. The funny thing was I was on a meeting call during that move, got in, got out. I think I made, I didn't get in straight away. I think I made about 20 something pips on that. I got in about there. Yeah, about 20 pips or something. Did that trade, posted it on Discord, came back, closed it out. That was my euro, good 20 pips during a meeting. So I was very happy with that, right? But it was very interesting that it shot out way outside of the Bollinger Band, and very important. Again, the Bollinger Bands, why I use them, it just tells me when it's too late to get into a trade or when you should be getting out of a trade because it's outside the Bollinger Band. It comes right back in, test, back in again. Then we wouldn't have that because it's already moved up. It came right back down, break that trend line. Break that trend line on the dollar strength, now pushing down. Now we're looking at this 50% level, right? And that 61.8 level. I think these 2 points are going to be quite important because I wouldn't do anything here. You can see that on the 19th, it came down, tested, and broke right back up. On the 23rd, it came down, tested 61.8 and broke right back up. Before that, it held around that level, that 1.11 level. So a nice round number area here. We have from this move up, that 50 and 60%, 61.8% retracement level. So I would say that trend line is done. We can take that away. All right, what I would be only looking for is if it can zigzag down this way, then I'll be looking for it to break below 1.1080. No, 1.1075. Stop loss would be about 20 pips. Take profit would be down 65. Again, what I'm going to highlight is that we're now suddenly very bullish or short-term bullish on the dollar. Okay, sell, 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 sell. So that's what we're looking at now as it looks to break those levels. We're looking to sell at 1.1075, 1.1. Stop loss 20. Take profit 65 to the downside. 65 to the downside. Okay. There we go. Now, with that, yeah, sure, EuroCAD, no worries, not a problem. I think that we'll look for. Okay, then we'll look at the yen, right? Then we'll look at the yen pairs. Dollar, yen, pushed up, tested, came back down. I did one trade here yesterday, just before I left the office. Just before I left the office, I got in at, so that didn't trigger. Let me take that away first. Well, I'll share with you what I did. 1.11, 1.44. 1.44. Oh, wait, where was it? No, 1.42. This current price is 1.44. Okay, 1.4273. There. All right, there, about there. So that was a trade I got into. That was an up move. And then my stop loss was quite tight that way, just below that low. My take profit was up there at 1.44. Yeah, so that was my trade up on the pound, on the yen, as it pushed up, retraced back in that level as it was testing higher. I thought, let's just try. It was a size down kind of trade, and then it pushed up 130 pips to the upside on the US yen. Okay, so that was a trade I got into there. Now, if you look at this, it's very odd. What's happening here is very odd because we're seeing dollar strength, right? We're seeing dollar strength, but yet we're seeing the yen come back down. It came up to this 61.8 and 50% level, and it looks like it's retracing back down. Area, yeah. Channel, yes. Right, it looks like it's retracing back down. I'm not convinced about this pushback or this pullback right now. I'm looking at it, I'm thinking that we're anticipating that the dollar should strengthen further. So if, one more. If it comes down to this area here and fails to break below 1.143.45, we could see it bounce back up again. But don't rush into it, right? What could happen is it will come down to this point and then break up that way, and then that way back up. Okay, so right now you should see a very clear, or almost quite a clear battle between the dollar and the yen, because new prime minister in Japan supposed to have brought that strength back to the yen, pushing it right back down. But what we've just seen is now the dollar, they're talking about, slowing, not being in a rush to cut rates. It should be pushing it back up with some dollar strength coming back into play. So it's that balance that they're trying to strike again. What I would be looking for here on the yen would be at about 145, right? Above 145, you're looking at a 50 pip stop, 55 pip stop, a 130 pip take to the upside. So I hope that happens. I'll be looking at 130 yesterday, 130 today / tomorrow. It still play out quite nicely. Okay, but it needs to stay above 143.45. Right, I'm looking for that to stay above 143.45. Then we're looking to buy at 145, stop loss 55, take profit 130 to the upside. If it breaks a bit risky to sell down at this point. And actually what you can also see here is a bit of that, right? A bit of that inverted head and shoulder as it breaks that level to push up. So we could see it come back down a little bit before pushing back up again. That's what I'll be looking out for. I'm just thinking whether you go a little bit earlier. You could, but I think it's a little bit higher risk. 145, 144.90. You could do 144.90, in fact. But you can do, okay, so you can do 144.90. I'll still do it as a 50 pip stop and a 150 take back up. Okay, I'll change that a little bit. 144.90, stop loss 50, take profit 150 to the upside. Hey Basanta, how's my new month for October looking? Quiet, man. I haven't done anything. I haven't done anything on for October yet. That was ended a month very good. Ended a month very, very good. But nothing on October so far. It's only been a couple of hours in. So we shall see later tonight as well. Hey Angel Case, how are you doing? Okay, now Euro Yen pushed up a bit higher than I expected towards that 50% level. We know that the Euro dollar is pushing down, hence the Euro Yen is pushing down. Take that away and that away for now. So that wouldn't have triggered, didn't break lower, so it should have triggered to push up. As it pushes down, looking at it closing lower, I'm thinking that this could push down a little bit before rebounding, right? So I'm looking at this possibly coming back down a little bit. But I'm also thinking that it could push back up. It would depend on what the euro ends up doing though. So we're going to see on the euro yen what happens along this 159.50 level. All right, if it breaks down from 159.50, we could see get down to this way. Hang on. 159.35. Stop loss will be tight at 30 pips. Take profit 100. 100 to the downside. If it comes down and bounces, or if it fails to break and it pushes back up, then you could be looking for this next move here. 161. Stop loss about 40 pips. Take profit about, well, I don't think 200. I think 140 will be very generous up there already. Okay, then pound yen came down, pushed back up, could have almost hit the resistance level, didn't, push back down now because pound, no one told me about this, pound dollar pushing right down. You might not be able to enter this trade now. If you have already, great. You might not be able to enter this trade now because it's right outside of the Bollinger. It might come back in. So what we're looking at now here is it might come back in, test, and then bounce back down again. So we look for that retrace and then a continuation to the downside. So pound dollar pushing down strongly, dollar yen pushing down, pound yen pushing right down as well. On the daily time frame, on the euro yen, it looks like lower high, lower low. Euro yen daily time frame. And too many things there. Okay. Yep. Lower high. Lows are a little bit mixed, a bit higher. I think it's going to bounce around here quite a bit. If you look at an H4, it's trying to push down. I do think there's some downside, bigger downside potential on that, especially if it breaks below that 158 level. But first, it needs to get there. Okay. Then onto pound yen. It's coming down 192. So we have that. We have 38.2. Needs to break 192 as a nice round number. $191.65. Stop loss 50. Take profit down 160 to the downside. So that's what we'll look out for on the pound yen. Then on to the US Swiss franc, pushing up. It's too late to get into it now. It's right in the middle at this point here. We're looking for it to do that and then continue higher. So now we would be looking for it to trade higher and have a reaction at 8510. Right, US Swiss franc, the buy was good, but we're looking for it to continue higher. Look for reaction at 0.8510. There we go. Then onto the US CAD. This is where we were yesterday. It's bounced around, it's holding that level. I would maintain the same view. I'll drag this right across and go 1.3545, 20 to 50 to the upside. 1.3545, 20 to 50 to the upside. We'll keep that. Then onto gold, and then after that, Euro CAD. Gold still has that diagonal cap to the downside, right? That diagonal push, diagonal bearish trend line to the downside. This was where we were yesterday, right here. We're saying that it's going to range in between these points. Right after I said that, it popped 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock. It broke right down and pushed lower to 26.24. Right, so I was saying that if it's in 26.42 to 26.52, if broken, it will trade down to 26.16. It didn't get to 26.16, but it broke down. It traded down to 26.24 before retracing back up again. Now, at this point, put that down here. Ooh. That one away. $61 is right there. Okay, so likely that it's going to sit in this point for a while. 38.2 is right there. It's broken 23, so 23 was this point here. And the support, so it's broken, it's pushed up at 38.2 now. Needs to stay below 26.48, 26.49 for the downside. Okay, so first on gold is needs to stay below 26.49 to trade lower. Below 26.30. Oh, so tired. 26.30 could trade out 26.16. There we go. 26.30 could trade down to 26.16. All right, that's good. That is very good. Narrowing shorted gold from 26.50 down to 26.30. Perfect. That's awesome. 26.50 is up here as it broke. Very nice. Yes, there was a lot of chatter about that on Discord as well, about shorting it down. Nice move there, Naren. Then now onto the Euro CAD. Let's clear out. The last time I looked at it was in August. So, oops, I deleted something. Hang on. Okay. Now if I look at this, I've got a trend line pushing right up and coming quite close to holding, right? I kind of, I know I'm terrible at this, but I kind of see that, either that, no, I kind of see that happening. So terrible inverted head and shoulder for that downside with a terrible neckline there like that. Yeah, so I wouldn't sell. So Dino just said I'm looking for a sell. Now I see that kind of a head and shoulder there. I see that pushing lower, but I also see that trend line that has been holding. And with that trend line, you also have a diagonal level right, a horizontal level right there. And also you have a nice round number at 1.5. So what I believe could happen And this point is that it needs to come down to test this trend line. It could rebound, it could test this, it could test that again, and then break down. So a couple of things needs to happen. Firstly, test that trend line. Secondly, that support level before we're going to see that rejection back down. I would be looking to sell down from 1 point below 1.5, right? I'll be looking to sell down below 1.5. I know that, yeah, I was just about to say, Diana's probably thinking a little bit higher at 1.5070. I don't think it will get there. I think that it might, I think if I redrew this, it might do that. It might push up to 40. Then it will have that break to the downside. Like that. Something like that. I can't draw it properly. Yeah, about there. So now that's pushing down, tries to break that trend line in that open area here, push back up 1.5040 down, should do that, and then that, and then break that level. So yeah, makes sense to look for the fair value rejection to come back down. I would be looking for it if it breaks below 1.5 to the downside. Okay, thanks for that, no worries. Now again, if you haven't already, do help me out. Click that like and subscribe button. And if you are watching in the UAE, or if you have any friends or family who might be interested to join, the link is there for you guys. Do make sure you join. I look forward to seeing all of you, as many of you as possible, at this event. The link is shared there. We wanted a small number of people. We sold out on that, so I just expanded the room a little bit. I've got a bigger room, or expanded room, so we're gonna have a little bit more people, hopefully. Okay, so please take care, trade well, trade safe. I will see you all tomorrow and hopefully soon in person in the UAE. Take care now. Bye bye.